So if you've watched the second episode of The Last of Us Season 2, there's some new information coming out that you should definitely know. Obviously, full spoilers. If you haven't seen the second episode, skip the video, come back afterwards, because it's worth knowing. So yeah, Kaitlyn Dever, the actress who plays Abby in the show, was actually mourning the death of her mom just weeks prior to filming that scene for Season 2. She goes on to say, to be as honest as possible, I will just say that my days leading up to this scene were horrible. It was just a massive scene emotionally and with blocking too. There were so many moving parts and so many things to navigate. She then says, I lost my mom 2 or 3 weeks before I actually shot that scene, and my mom's funeral was 3 days before I did my first day. So I was sort of in the fog, I was in a daze. And wow, knowing this really just made me realize new things with this scene. And what I mean by that is, I wasn't actually seeing an emotion of anger and rage, which would actually be a normal response when you're face to face with the person who killed your dad, right? But instead, what I saw was Abby in pain actually, as she was holding the golf club and she was having her monologue with Joel. Her emotions, the tears that were coming down her face, it was actually coming from a place of pain. And I remember telling myself, like, very weird that I'm reading pain from this scene, from this performance. And now it all makes sense. It all adds up. So just whole new perspective into that scene. What an amazing scene. But aside from that, there's also something worth sharing from the words of the showrunner, Craig Mazin. So Craig Mazin says, we said, take your time, take all the time you need. While I care extraordinarily about the show, it's a TV show. I'm not going to disrupt someone's grieving process for their own parent, especially with a show that's partly about the grieving process. So yeah, I just want to give like mad respects for Craig Mazin for this kind of grace towards his cast, and just makes me love him more as a creative. But yeah, I'm curious, did you guys also have that same read as me where during that scene with Abby, I wasn't seeing rage or anger, it was just genuine pain? Let me know.